If you want some, come get some.
This is such good shit.
I am the visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am Seth.
Look at Gray. I can't give the belt to Dusty, but I can give it to my mama. I can give it to my mommy.
Acknowledge me.
Lately, he just hasn't been.
Oh my gosh, look who's back from the deep blue sea. He has a tan. He finally has a good-looking John Cena shirt. It is Ryan, and it is Rasslin with Ryan.
He's saying that about this shirt because it's Laker colors.
Exactly.
So he likes
Exactly.
that's his weakness. Laker colors.
It pretty much is with the white. I love it.
Yeah. The
That's what
white
John
is
Cena should be wearing every single time he comes out. But anyways, how was your cruise, Ryan?
too short. Not
Too
long
short?
enough.
Well, they say that about you in many different ways. But that is not the topic today. Today we are talking about something about the WWE PLEs and an upcoming PLE called Evolution. Not Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista.
All women's
Yeah.
evolution, which has a pretty lackluster build.
Yep, exactly. In which I think it's more in line to speaking of WWE's writing process, their booking, and the way they schedule these PLEs now.
Yeah, Mike, stop. I know you're in creative, but you gotta stop. There's too many PLEs.
Oh, I'm
You
in
got-
creative. If I'm in creative, then damn, then I'm not seeing a cent out of it.
You gotta cut it back, bruh.
I gotta cut it back. That's what the ladies say. Anyways, let's get into it, man. All right. So let's talk about it. Evolution coming up. When is it? It's in a couple weeks, right?
It's on Sunday, July 13th.
Okay, so a couple weeks from now, you know. Has there really been a card announced?
Yes, we have Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the WWE Women's Championship.
And that just
We
came
have
out of nowhere from yesterday.
Yeah, we have Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship.
Okay.
We have Naomi versus Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Roxanne and Raquel defending their women's tag titles in the Fatal 4-Way. And right now, the only team we know of so far is Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
Gotcha.
Well, we'll be getting one team from Raw and then one team from NXT.
Gotcha. So the last Evolution pay-per-view was in 2018, and I believe it was headlined. I could be wrong about this. I haven't even looked it back up. But I remember, was Ronda Rousey and Becky in the main event? Or was it Charlotte?
It was Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. What about, was it Charlotte and Becky then?
They wrestled. I think they opened the show.
Oh, interesting. But it's been 7 years since the last Evolution PLE pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. This is we're finally getting back to an all women's pay-per-view for the women, right? The first time they did that, it was because they had started their Saudi Arabia deal, and at the time, the women on the roster were not allowed to travel to Saudi Arabia. So as a make good for them not being able to travel to Saudi Arabia, this is WWE put on Evolution, which actually was a pretty good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was, it was something that they made up for, but it actually turned out to be pretty well. I don't know why they haven't done it since. I can't really tell you why. I mean, the women's roster in WWE is pretty stacked, so I can't give you a rhyme or reason why they haven't. It seems like it'd be something that they want to do, other than just scheduling.
Doesn't really feel like it's an important show because of how lackluster the build has been.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE has a PLE problem right now. They have like a PLE like every 2 weeks now, it seems like.
Right, exactly. And it seems like, okay, they have a PLE, and then it's, they're all on Saturdays now. I would consider Saturday Night's Main Event, even though it's on NBC, I feel like they book it as a PLE, even though it's not really.
And it's only like an hour long.
Yeah, it's only like an hour long, and it's more of a glorified house show. It still feels like sometimes it's a PLE.
With how they hype it up and how they build it up, yeah.
Exactly. And then so you have, for example, you had Saturday Night's Main Event, then they went into the past Saudi Arabia show. Now we're going into Evolution. There's so much that's staggered on top of each other that there is little breathing room for these storylines to carry out. Um, and honestly, I kind of wish that they would scale back, and I know why they don't do it. It's because of money. It's because they want to feature as many stories as possible. But the problem is that these stories don't have time to let itself breathe out without, it just doesn't, there's no consistency in letting these things play out. And then they're just jumping from one thing to another.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I remember there was a time in WWE where we'd get like a pay-per-view, like if we didn't get one like once a month, we'd get it like maybe like every month and a half to 2 months. And now it's like there's, like I said, there's literally like 3 PLEs in like a month now. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I kind of wish they would scale back a bit on these things. I think that was one of the things that I thought was going to happen when Triple H took over in creative, but no, there's just been so much going on. I mean, if you think about it, let's look at the pay-per-views or the PLEs since, since the beginning of the year. Bro, are you sleep? Are you gonna fall asleep on me?
No. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Nah.
Do I need to cut this out?
Nah.
Okay, don't fall asleep. Do I need to go on there and slap you in the face?
I'm gonna slap you like the.
Oh, it's a family show.
Yeah, watch your.
All right. We're not airing that on YouTube.
Yes, we are.
But anyways, all right. After I had to go and slap Ryan in the face to wake up, looking like he has a stroke. Um, let's look at the top of let's look at since the top of the year the pay-per-views that they've done. I think it's been Royal Rumble. Was there anything between Royal Rumble? I think there was a Saturday Night's Main Event.
Because Royal Rumble was in February this
Oh,
year.
that's right.
It's February 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have a January.
We didn't.
We didn't have a January PLE.
We didn't. You're right. So that was actually a time where it was the storylines were able to play itself out a little bit.
That's when it felt like old school WWE during that time, because we had the Royal Rumble and then we had Elimination Chamber, and then I think we had like a Saturday Night's Main Event or two in between there, and then we had WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then since WrestleMania, we've had like 2 PLEs a month.
Right. 2 PLEs a month, including Saturday Night's Main Event. We've had already like 3 or 4 Saturday Night's Main Events in this calendar year already, and it just feels like there's just one thing on top of each other when it comes to just the PLEs and the shows. And it's not just the shows, it's the kickoff events and this and that. There's so much programming in WWE. I obviously as a fan, you want as much programming as possible, but then it gets to a point where it's just like, how much is enough? Like,
Yeah, like one thing I feel like, the big shows like Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, like Survivor Series, I feel like those shows, it makes sense to have like a countdown show and like a kickoff show and pre-show. But I feel like some of the B-level PLEs, you don't need all of that.
No, you don't. You don't. And it's come to a point where, look, you don't have they're giving us what 2 weeks as a break, but then you still have the Raws and the SmackDowns to account for. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on, and I get it. It's a big roster. You want to be able to feature as much people as possible. But as much as there's programming, it just feels like there's a stalemate when it comes to the booking of these PLEs. For example, look at WrestleMania this year. I think obviously the Cena thing was overtaken by The Rock wanting to make an appearance at Elimination Chamber, and then they had to go switch plans because I don't think Cena being heel was in the original plans of of him coming back and doing this retirement tour, you know. But other than that, it just seems like they're figuring things out on the fly, and I feel
He
like that's such a Vince McMahon type move, and these storylines aren't really giving a whole lot of time in the pot for them to cook when it just seems like they're just throwing things together at some points.
and just like how he did for well over a decade, John Cena continues to carry the WWE on his back, especially right now.
Well, I think a lot of people would say that this heel run has not been great. He's
It's
had
picked up. It's picked up.
it's picked up over the last few weeks because of his program with Punk. But a lot of it's just, not great. It picked up with R-Truth as well. But now, I think, going forward, I think we need to see a little bit of long-term story booking when it comes to this last half of his
I'm
retirement.
telling, I'm telling you, you're starting to agree with it a little bit. I'm telling you, a double turn is possible at SummerSlam.
It's certainly possible. I think there's a lot of hints into what Cody is doing. There's a lot of hints, and we freaking saw what John Cena did at Night of Champions.
He
Look at
turned on Super Cena mode.
exactly. There's a lot of things you could look at and say, "Bam, John Cena's get ready to be a babyface again."
And we've been noticing like almost every week you see little glimpses of babyface Cena, and it's only a matter of time before he's the good guy again.
Right.
Especially because it'll be great for the remainder of his farewell tour of him being, the babyface WWE champion, so and then retiring with the title.
Right. Well, that's
He's
not
the
going to
last real
happen.
he's the
Is
last real
not
champion.
is
Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it.
How do I mute you without asking you to unmute
Acknowledge
yourself?
it.
I have a
Acknowledge.
problem with Zoom. I had to mute Brian earlier, and then it had me ask him to unmute himself. If you Zoom, don't do that. Don't do that, Zoom. It's bad. I want to be in control. Anyways, Cena's not retiring with the title. He's losing it at
Yes, he is.
SummerSlam.
You're
You're just being a fanboy right now.
no, you're delusional because you know it's true. He's retiring with that title.
Don't let your fanboy and you believing in kayfabe let the reality not sink in that he's gonna lose the title.
It's all right.
What do you-
It's all right. We all know you like sucking on the rocks.
Oh my god, you again. What is this? What is this, Ryan? That geez, you're talking like a sailor right now.
I told you, Cena turned heel. I'm a heel too now.
No, no,
No. Anyways. Let's get back on topic. So, but yeah, no, I definitely think there's a PLE problem. A lack of build, like, and then there's like we get it where there's feuds and matches. Where it's like, no, we needed more time for this, or be like, no, they should be doing it at like, at like a bigger show, like I know everybody loves the Cena and Punk feud, but it's like they should have saved that for like SummerSlam
they
or
should have.
Survivor Series
Well, and that's
or Cena's last match even.
what I'm talking about, right? I get that they want to be able to have Cena work with as many guys as possible, but there really hasn't been this long-term story plan of what Cena's going to do, except, and I know you don't want to hear it, except that Cody's going to win at SummerSlam and get the title back. Because, and hear me out, because now it sets up John Cena chasing again for the title. I'm not saying he's going to win it because he's not, but then John Cena chasing. So hear me out on this. John Cena was the heel the first half of this retirement tour. That set him up all against all of his past, right? All the guys trying to tell him that Cena, what you're doing is wrong. Like guys like Punk and Randy, R-Truth, All the guys from his past. It was kind of like, hey, I'm gonna work with those guys because those are my legacy guys. Now the second half is gonna be where Cena starts working with the younger guys because now he's a baby face. Now he can start working with the Drew McIntyre types. Now he can start working with Braun Breaker and all the other guys that are heels but are young. And I think that's where it sets up, where John Cena now is going to have to talk about, hey, look, I got caught up in, trying to win this title. It tainted me. And he's going to start apologizing for his actions. And then he's going to start going through, like I said, a Drew McIntyre type. I feel like Cena and Drew McIntyre could have a hell of a feud.
And he's gonna beat them all and then win 18.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna beat them all and then win 18 and win the IC title to be a Grand Slam champ.
Why do I even talk? Why do I even talk? If this is just going to be the kayfabe show, where you just are in John Cena land, then this is the show. The point is, there needs to be long-term storytelling in WWE. Now, maybe fans aren't going to want to hear this too, but I just went to AEW Dynamite 300. Okay. And AEW has been doing a really good job of getting back on track.
Pissant company.
Oh my gosh. Look, they've been doing a really good job at their storylines. They've been doing a really good job of getting back on track. It's not the best still, but they're really taking their time at developing these storylines.
They still don't got
Hangman Adam Page.
Tony Khan doesn't know how to tell a story.
Oh my gosh. Okay. With Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley and and his crew, okay? Yeah, maybe he should have lost the title a long time ago, but they've been telling a story there.
Yeah, they're still running that. Jon Moxley's boring.
But the point is the Hangman's gonna finally win the title, and now
He's boring too.
Point is, they've been setting up this long-term story. But they're setting up with MJF and the Hurt Business or the Hurt Syndicate. It's long-term booking. They're doing a really good job at telling this story. And now they're heading into their WrestleMania All In Texas. I think they've been doing. And why? Because they're letting these storylines breathe a little bit.
Well, then what happened to that much anticipated MJF Adam Cole match?
That was injury.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, because that was strictly snake bitten by injuries.
And they suck at long-term storytelling.
Oh my gosh. You don't even watch AEW.
Because why would I watch that pissant company?
Because you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and I tried it. I tried watching it.
You tried watching it 3 years ago when I took you to the show.
No, not that. I've even seen glimpses of it and matches and stuff.
When?
It's not, when I'm in the gym, dude.
Okay, but you need to be able to watch the show to be able to criticize. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything that AEW is doing is great, because it's not. But what I'm trying to say is that they're doing a lot better at letting these storylines breathe.
I'd rather watch TNA.
Okay, you can watch TNA. That's fine. You can watch TNA. I think, we're staying on topic here, WWE needs to slow it down a little bit in terms of what they're doing with their PLEs, because it's just, there's too much. And especially, look, these women here on this Evolution PLE pay-per-view, they need to be able to tell these long-term stories. Look at Jade Cargill and Naomi. If they had a real program to sink their teeth into, not just this they're feuding, it just doesn't feel like they have anything that's really worthy of the fans to get invested into. We know that they're feuding, but what have they done to really tell you, oh my gosh, this is something that I really want to see? There isn't, and yeah, it's not the women in itself. It's an entirety of the product. We're gonna have the same problem going into SummerSlam. SummerSlam is 2 nights now, and so I know you agree, but WWE could do a lot better with their programming in terms of letting it breathe.
Yeah, I think they need more space in between shows. I think they need to you know, instead of it being like, oh, all of a sudden these two are feuding. Like, why? Like, what's the motivation? Like, no, they need to build feuds. They need to allow more time for feuds.
Now, you would think that they would be able to do that because SmackDown was 3 hours. Now it's going back to 2 hours, but they have done a really poor job at using the time that they have to build these storylines. SmackDown was 3 hours for what, 6 months? Around there?
Yeah, because it went to 3 hours when Raw moved to Netflix.
And what in that third hour was really productive of it? I can't tell you what it, what really came out of having that third hour.
They only did it because that's what the USA Network wanted.
Exactly. But now they're
So,
going back to 2 hours.
and then you're gonna have people like, oh, they need to go back to three. It's too short. It's a never ending cycle.
It's a never-ending cycle. But it doesn't matter, dude. The show could be an hour and a half. It could be 2 hours. It could be
You gotta find a way to build stories and
yes,
keep these interesting.
exactly.
And
Right.
you want to have a shock value. You want to have plot twists. You
Right.
want to have unpredictability.
Exactly.
Like no knock on any particular superstars, but the King of the Ring doesn't feel so special anymore now that it's a yearly thing.
I think it feels special because
I like
they're
the idea that now the winners get like a championship
yes,
match,
exactly.
but it's like Cody wanted. He's already a made star. He didn't need it.
Well, it's setting up his program with Cena. Did he need it?
I
No. It probably could have went to somebody else. But I like that the fact that the winner gets a title shot at SummerSlam. That's old school because the King of the Ring used to be like that. The winner would always get a program with the champion at SummerSlam. And so I like the way that they do that. Now, you know, could have went to Cody to somebody different than Cody, sure, but I don't think that's in the problem. I think more so it's just like, hey, like we need to be able to book these stories, and give them a lot of time and investment.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, this women's pay-per-view. Um, what else are we looking forward to for it coming up?
Nothing. There's nothing of interest to me,
There's nothing of interest.
and that's not. And that's this isn't a dig at the woman. It's just genuinely with the lack of build. It's like there's no hype for this show,
Right, exactly. But I'm
and
sure we're
that's
gonna see
not
all the
and that
stars.
yeah, and that has no it has nothing to do with the woman at all.
Hmm.
It's nothing to do with the woman. It's simply the creative process and the booking and the lack of time in between the shows.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and it's we'll see. We'll see how, yeah. And I'm sure it's gonna be a good show. I'm sure that the women are gonna go out there and they're gonna bust their ass and they're gonna put on a hell of a show. Especially when you have all the stars there, like Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Stephanie Becker. Mama. Mamacita.
We'll see because there's a lot of people who still aren't advertised for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know there's a women's battle royal and the winner gets a future championship opportunity.
If Santina
But
Morella is not there and doesn't win, I'll be pissed.
oh God, see, and you get on me when I say that Cena's going to retire with the title, but then you're over here saying that if Santina doesn't show up, then what was the point of it? You're calling me delusion. You're calling me delusional. You're stupid. You're stupid, you dumbass.
Okay, all right, dude, relax with the cursing.
no,
Relax with the cursing.
we good. No, I know we're joking around, but yeah, no, it's there really is a lack of a build, just a lack of hype in general. And it isn't even just for Evolution. It's been for like the last couple of shows. There's been like very little build.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and we'll see. SummerSlam is 1 month away. We still don't know what program CM Punk is going to be in. Maybe we have a Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton match coming up.
Yeah.
We don't know where. Well, we do know LA Knight. But before that, we have Saturday night's main event coming up. We have LA Knight versus Seth. We have
Rollins. And that'll be interesting because now they're getting LA Knight working with the top guys.
exactly, and so yeah, he's in it. He's in the main program right now with Seth, and I feel like this should really elevate LA Knight to that next level. He's working with Seth now. When you're working with a guy like Seth, it puts you in the kind of that main event, atmosphere. Um,
We have Randy versus Drew.
we'll see if that's like a long-term program going into SummerSlam. And then we have Oldberg, Oldberg,
Your next
Oldberg.
your next world heavyweight champion.
Oh God. Oh God. If this match is
And what's crazy? That's not even me saying that. I'm saying that because that's not that's like a high possibility.
is not a high possibility. It should not. No, 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 no. Don't you put that into the atmosphere.
Okay, but
Universe.
I'm just saying. There's a hypothetical. I'm just saying. What if they give Goldberg like his hometown moment? Having win the title, celebrate with his family, and then Seth comes, cashes in, and wins it.
That's
I'm not saying that's what's
All
going
right.
to happen.
That's definitely a possibility, but I'd rather see Seth cash it in on John Cena or Cody Rhodes.
That's the interesting thing because a couple weeks ago when Seth came out, Seth whispered something in Cody's ear, and then when they came out face to face, they didn't go after each other. They just stared at each other. So I feel like there might be something there.
There could be. Man, that would be something.
So we'll see. Maybe who knows? Maybe if there's another member of this faction, maybe it's Cody.
Oh God, that'd be crazy. That would be insane.
It would be shocking and it would be unpredictable.
Yeah, I would. I did definitely never thought of that, but then Cody's his own guy. I mean, he doesn't need a group,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um,
I'm just saying it would make for a very interesting, story.
yeah, it would. It would. But Gunther should not be losing that match in no less than 3 minutes. He should be winning that match.
He has 3 minutes to spare.
Yeah, exactly. Oldberg, thanks for coming. Don't hurt yourself on the way out.
And it's going to be the main event, so something's going to happen.
Shit, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's Saturday night's main event. Then you have SummerSlam coming up. Any last thoughts on what on the build to what we're seeing?
I mean, I'm with you. I think WWE needs to take a step back a little bit and I'm fine with them doing more shows, but I feel like they can space it out better.
Yeah.
I have no problem with them doing more shows, but they got to find a way to space it out better, give us more of a turnaround.
Right. Exactly.
Instead of it just being one right after the other.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. So that's our podcast on WWE's PLE problem evolution.
Yeah.
I'm glad Ryan didn't fall asleep through this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bleep out a lot of things.
And the cursing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I usually ain't like that. So
You usually ain't like that, but I don't know this cruise, man. Think you got a little too much sun in you.
Nah.
But anyways, we have a lot going on. I'm working on something very special for Lakers fans. For LeBron James, it's a very special project I'm working on. I just finished writing it out, and I'm going to start recording it. So September 1st, look for it, and a brand new podcast for our members. Ryan, I haven't even told you about this. You've been gone. You've been gone. LA Sports Roundup is coming very, very soon to Lace 'em Up Sports. So watch out and look for it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Any last thoughts, Ryan?
So you'll be talking about the Clippers and the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah. All the Angels. Exactly.
Angels. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're doing all the LA teams.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You're not leaving any out this time.
Nope. Not leaving any out. We'll talk about how the Clippers and the Angels suck. We'll talk about it all. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And especially we're not talking about the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, we will. Hey, we will when they play the Rams because they do play the Rams.
Exactly. We'll talk about that when I do my Rams report that week.
Yeah. And you said that's the one time I'm allowed to talk about the Panthers on the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
But you did tell me you're like, okay, if they play the Rams, fine, you can talk about the Panthers.
Exactly. Because Ryan's been dying to talk about his favorite team, the Panthers. No
Yes.
playoffs. No playoffs this year.
Hey! Don't underestimate us. We might be I think we're a wild card team.
Wild card. Have you seen? You know how stacked
I'll say this: the NFL season is going to be an interesting one.
it is, especially when Aaron Donald comes out of retirement and helps the Rams win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I saw that Rams post, and all the Rams fans got excited, and then they saw what it said, and they're like, "Oh, damn it!"
Yep, exactly.
It is what like Aaron Donald like tribute game or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, so all the Rams fans got their hopes up.
Exactly. Do have a beef with the Rams for not hiring me as one of their hype squad members.
Yeah, that's right. You auditioned for their hype squad.
I did, and I didn't have. So I've been ghosted, man. They haven't contacted me back, but it's okay.
You just weren't good enough. You didn't make the cut.
I don't know. What can I say? What can I say except you're welcome?
Oh, God.
The sun, the tides, the sky. All right.
We get it. You love yourself some Final Boss. We get it. We get it. Yeah. Get that. Get that out of here.
You smell.
Get that out of here.
It's cooking.
Get that out of here.
Oh my gosh. Where's your show the audience your little Cena doll before we leave? Oh my gosh. Look at that. Still not as good as this one. But no, you're Cena doll, the plush one that you had.
I know which one you're talking about.
The
one Funko Pop, because I don't think I've showed it. Because I don't think I've shown it yet.
Exactly. All right. Sounds good.
Hey, you can't talk too much. I got this as a Christmas gift, so.
It looks like more like Blippy if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, hey, I got it as a Christmas gift, so don't look at me like I'm the one that bought it. I got it as a gift.
All right, Blippy. Okay. Until next time, you can't see us.